Hi to a new video of this playlist in which I'm talking about music production on Linux, EndeavorOS, Arch Linux to be more specific. In the previous videos I've talked about how to install Reaper, set up your operating system, install dependencies, set up, repack repos inside Reaper, etc. all the different steps. So if you have not seen them beforehand and don't know what I'm talking about, watch these videos first. Watch these videos first and then come to this video. Updating grub, so installing kernels, and then update-grub. And then I'm talking about installing and working with the audio driver Pipewire. One thing I'm also going to talk about is just, my experience, my personal experience working with Reaper and on Linux, to be more specific, and what kind of changes, performance, stability you can expect as a former Windows user. Yeah. Now at times where Microsoft is being Microsoft and privacy is getting a more and more distant memory, many people are trying to make the jump from Windows to Linux, I assume, because Apple is its own problems, and Linux is an operating system that is impressively improving over the last years, especially, but in general. But this is not what this video is going to be about. Now, let's talk about the different kernels. Of course, in modern day hardware, the kernels are not making an enormous difference, but it's definitely something I would recommend. So to install the real-time kernel for real-time audio production and the ZEN kernel for optimizations for the individual desktop users. So now the first thing we are going to do is we are going to install some kernels. So open the terminal, sudo Pacman -s linux real-time linux real-time headers linux-zen linux-zen-headers. So it is really important when you install. So wait, can I make this? So with this command we install the real-time kernel because it's the kernel itself and its headers, and with it the ZEN kernel. Then press enter. Password. I've already installed everything. You press yes. Then we are going to install update-grub package and then run the command so that we are able to work with these kernels inside the boot menu. So now, since I've made the setup in grub, we need to update grub. How are we doing this? You download -s update grub. You press yes, I've already installed it, and then this command here. Okay, you need to be root, sudo. Voila, you reboot the system, and then you can boot into the kernel of your choice. And yeah, now we come to the most important topic, which is the Pipewire audio driver. Now, one difference you will recognize compared to ASUFall on Windows, for example. Now, this is part experience, part personal opinion, and lots of feeling around. One thing I can say is that, for example, ASUFall, the audio driver you are working with on Windows, or a derivative of it for special audio hardware. Also, the ASU driver is more a functionality which sits on top of the operating system, squeezing in between rigid codes, and you have a so-and-so experience with it. Now, Pipewire, on the other hand, is more deeply ingrained into the system itself. You have the opportunity, for example, to channel the output of YouTube on Google Chrome into a channel into Reaper and channel the output of Reaper, for example, onto your speakers as well as OBS. Because with the tool Qjackctl, you have a very intuitive working interface, which is vastly superior most of your Windows users are used to. And yeah, it is really easy to work with it. Now let's talk about Pipewire. For example, I'm going to open Reaper. So, options, preferences, device. And here you can see input channels 4, output channels 2. I mean, you can, make 6 out of it, or, whatever number you want. But you can see there are not more options for you to change. That is not a problem. So now open Qjackctl here. Now we have different menus. Let's open Graph. And here you can see OBS is running. From the audio interface, the input, and of a microphone, the input, with which I'm directly communicating with OBS. Now let me open Reaper. Now you can see Reaper has also opened. And here you can see that the microphone with which I'm recording is routed into Reaper. So if I go here, then you should hear me double times. And yeah, it's really self-explanatory. You just take maybe, for example, I have a jack input in my audio interface, and I just drag and drop it wherever I want this to be. So let me open Reaper again. So we can see 4 input channels, 2 output channels. Maybe you want more. Go to 6. Apply. Then now we have many more. And you can see now the Eirael key IO mono channel of the jack input where my guitar or microphone is jacked into is on channel 5. I could maybe just go and say, all of you delete, and then I'm put you into the first channel. Voila, here we have the input. I mean, there's no guitar jacked into the channel, so now you have this humming sound, but this is how you work with it. Wait. What also you can do, for example, you're recording a song, a track in Reaper, and you want to stream it live in Twitch, wherever. You can just go here and drag and drop Reaper's output into OBS's input. And it's way more intuitive than everything else you have worked with. Now let's talk about the variable buffer size and sample rate, which is an issue most of you Pipewire using beginners will struggle with. Because what Pipewire is doing, it is variable changing during recording, doing production, etc., the buffer size and the sample rate to adjust the performance, so to keep up the performance. And it's doing a so-and-so job. And you know, most of you will trying to fiddle around, how do I disable it, how do I launch the project with a fixed buffer size and sample rate, etc. And there is a way to do this, because what we need to do is to launch Reaper via the terminal. I'm going to show you that. Now, okay, good and fine, we can open, let me close. Now, as I've said previously, we have this issue where Pipewire is variable changing its buffer size and sample rate for, under exclamation mark, optimal performance, which is really annoying. How do we bypass this? So we just go to the terminal and we type in now Pipewire latency, then the buffer size slash sample rate and Reaper. Now we have fixed buffer size and sample rate with Pipewire. Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, now we have reached the end of, you know, setting up the fundamentals for audio production on Linux. I mean, there's still many more things, many more optimizations, many more tools, of course. But what I'm going to do in the next further videos is to explain the previous steps I've made in more and more detail, because I've overflown these parts more or less, because I wanted to give you a rough introduction and not bombard you with theory and, you know, this is this and this makes that, and then so you watch a 2-hour video about Buffersize and X4 and then completely lose interest. I just want to bring you into a situation where we're actually working on the operating system, actually doing stuff on it. Maybe you don't know all the details, but you at least are working with it right now. And yeah, another thing I really want to talk about is that, for example, Reaper has improved immensely over the last years. Gaming, for example. You know, gaming on Linux was really laughable, as not just with anti-cheat, but you know, you need to install it via Wine, etc., and it never really worked. Now, with the involvement of Valve on Steam and Proton, for example, the jump was enormous. Think of the Steam Deck. All of you Steam Deck users, you are Linux users. I know. And this is one other thing, audio production, etc. With the Pipewire audio driver, performance is no longer itself. Performance is no longer itself. I highly doubt this was a functional sentence, but performance on audio production is not the same as it was years ago. So, you know, it's still rapidly improving, still changing, still adapting. And yeah, why am I making this playlist and this video in general? Because most of you, former Windows users who are doing audio production, I mean, generally more I'm talking about home production, but it goes for everyone else. But you know, you have worked with experience on Windows, and you know it works so and so. And now that Microsoft is being Microsoft, and you know their privacy oppression is getting more and more overt, most of you will try thinking, you know, how do I change to what operating system should I change? Should I change to Mac? And so this is what this video is going to be about. So what kind of performance can you expect? How do you work with the operating system? What are the differences? What are the similarities? And yeah, so if you have questions of the videos you have watched and the video of this video, then, which I highly assume, then put it in the comment section. And yeah, so thanks for watching this video, and bye till my next one.